Okay, these are kind of today just little practice videos. I wasn't going to do one more, but this is a test for me, so I upload them to my sites. Got a little mad a minute ago again. My little WordPress conversations today. I thought I was going to go back and look at those texts, but it wasn't text. I forgot it was through Gmail. I'm sending it through Gmail. And I'm mad now because the last, I checked on WordPress and I'm reading what happens to your files if you downgrade to like the free plan from one of the paid plans. And the official WordPress site says, nothing to worry about. All of your videos and files that you spent a lot of time uploading and linking, it says they will all remain on WordPress and they will remain accessible. And I was mad because I had 4 official statements from WordPress that all said different things. The initial one was when I was going to downgrade from the business $299 plan. The first Gmail to me was, you might not want to do it because you're going to lose. You're going to lose a certain amount because I have a lot of storage. It's unlimited on the business plan. And it said you're going to lose a big amount because I do have a lot uploaded. And then it was only when I texted back and questioned and said, I have a lot of websites, and are you sure that you're going to like delete certain amounts of videos that were already uploaded? And it might be like official automatic text or Gmails. It said, oh, don't worry. Everything you have uploaded, these are the Gmail conversations, will remain uploaded and accessible, but that's if you only keep the premium plan, which you still pay $90 a year. I didn't really need it, but I was going to keep that just to try and stay in good graces with these people. But it said, but if you drop, this is an official statement from WordPress, but if you drop to like the free plan, then, and it's not definite, what they said was then they might not be accessible. And then I just read on their official site again, WordPress, that all your files remain accessible. I had 4 different answers. But what is it surrounded by? I texted when I was it's all about money is what it is. Legitimately, if you pay. But I texted the last or Gmail back because I told them today, I said, look, I'm going to cancel that payment you withdrew from my account, the $300. And I noticed as I'm looking at the Gmails, I had one from them that said, you have to update your credit card information because we can't renew your business plan. And they did it anyway. It was very old sides of their mouths they're talking out of. But in one of the last ones, when I told them, I explained that to them. I said, you have deceptive business practices because you're continuing to charge various ministries and people for upgrades and so forth. And once they get the business plan, you're not supposed to charge for all of those. And they're a big company out of California. They probably do that a lot. And I said, I'm going to go to my bank and I'm reporting fraud. And they emailed me back and said, oh, don't do that. We can settle everything right here, like between us. And then I gave him that last Gmail email back. I said, not only did I report you, I said, by you recharging all those people, all those ministries, after you're not supposed to, you're supposed to drop the lower subscriptions each time they go up. I said, that's fraudulent business practices. I said, and I'll send you that last email for your benefit to WordPress. I said, and you know that. You know, they didn't give me a new reply, but they did reply the same previous one. They resent it. So we'll see if They already dropped me to like the free plan. I checked it, but the thing that concerns me about all those things is the main purpose I used them was so people could get the teachings free on zip drives. But you can download Vimeo. It has a link on my Vimeo. But I did a lot of time adding those links. And when you put so much time into adding all links and all, you don't want 4 different answers. One on the official site, because people, if they know they might invest all that time, and then eventually they're gonna, but you want a consistent answer. And so that's what upset me about it. That's what upset me about it. What we're seeing in the country, I didn't check the latest news, but that's the same. If you have uneven balances, like you're going to deal with certain issues with whatever political side of the aisle you're on. But I kind of was seeing into some of the things going on, how you had people like working in an investigation. They're working for the FBI, federal government, and some of those people can simply make particular decisions, and those decisions can either exonerate a candidate or a family, and meaning you're off the hook for very things that were done wrong. And then those same small people we spoke about today on the other videos can also say, you know what, let's make a charge here. When you're talking about a president, I don't care if the media has, some Republican people are beginning to look at some of this, because right away they all jumped on bandwagons. But the other thing you look at is, are we allowing people that are FBI or whoever to make particular decisions and wording of investigations? And those decisions affect the electorate, the people that voted for Trump and going for an impeachment and all this. Whoever puts their trust in men, Scripture talks about it. Ultimately, that doesn't work. But we in society, we attempt to do our best. In this little example, I knew when I started when I recognized what was going on in this small example, I knew at one point I said, oh, I could spot it. Maybe some others that they do business with couldn't spot it like I did. But yet I was still willing to, like, I'll pay the lesser premium plan just so you don't, like, retaliate. But then it just got to a point when I saw, after clearly, and I read even the Gmail back from WordPress yesterday or the day before, I said, no, don't charge me the $300 only. And they said, fine, that's great. And yet at the same time, they did. So we'll end it. This is a test. I had to get a new phone. I don't want to teach right now because then I'll have to add some more things. You know, the Scripture does say the word of the Lord endures forever. The word of the Lord endures forever. It's enduring through us, through God's people. It's in us. It's in us. When people, when I did my radio shows for all those years, I got those old some of the old tapes right there. This is an old tape duplicator. This cost about $1,000. And you duplicate 3 cassette tapes, in about a minute, 60-minute tapes or whatever. But if you think you lose your work, then it upsets people. And I remember one time when I was dropping off those tapes at KCTA, I forgot what happened. Something happened, and they didn't play the shows or whatever. And I had said, Oh, that's all right. At one time, I've had, times where I was upset with my radio station paying money and they didn't do a particular thing right. But I was talking to David Freimiller. I'm not sure if he still works there. But when they messed up on something, he was like ready to get jumped on, like he could tell. And I just looked at him. I said, oh, that's all right. I said, but you've had people jump on you before. And he kind of, because when you put time into stuff, that's why you have redundancy, backup plans. That's why I do a lot of these various backup plans. And it upsets people. We'll see what happens in the national. I didn't check the latest news, but I did all that, and I'm still doing all that to make stuff available so the word of the Lord can go forth. When I do teach the Ephesians chapter 2, I'm going to try and show how the apostles, what they saw with the great work of the cross, was how God, Paul particularly says that in the chapter of Ephesians 2, God has reconciled the big division in that time, first century, between Jew and Gentile. Okay? Now we live in a day where there's other divisions. But what Paul said was God reconciled with people. And we, all of us, have access to God by one Spirit because of what Jesus has done for humanity. So he's brought us all in to these covenants, the covenants that the Gentiles, they didn't have them. We were without hope and without God in the world. And then Paul would say, but now those who were far off, Gentiles, are made nigh by the blood, and those that are near, talking about the Jewish people, but they were all, regardless of the distance, they were all brought together. So that's really, I'm going to hit on some of those themes, all right? Figured I'd do a little bit of something beneficial. But when I just read that last, the weather feels like New Jersey, and it's cold. And I probably got sick because I was out a few times without my jacket on, but I'm enjoying it. But I just read those last statements. And I said that I had 4 different answers on their official answers. And the reason they have those different things is it's all on money. I wonder how many people that weren't going to renew expensive plans had that first official WordPress response. You sure you want to drop it? You're going to lose a big portion of all the work you put in all these years. And I'm sure most people with only one site maybe would say, oh, never mind, renew the 300. And then the next official statement was, oh, settle down, you won't. And I wasn't mad in those initial Gmails. And then talking out of both sides of their mouths. All right, so let me bless you guys and pray for this nation. Little radio, you see a telex duplicator. God bless everybody.